Good afternoon on what is a very warm, bright and sunny day. It is Sunday the 18th of May and I'm in the reading Nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. We've seen this one before, so it's another Mothership Monday because what I'm going to unbox or continue unboxing from in here, if I fold the box back down again, is the Mothership Deluxe set from Tuesday Night Games. Now this is the first edition. This is the first edition of Mothership sci-fi horror role-playing game. Considering that what we've been playing with, as I keep saying, for the past 6-7 years is actually an Ashcan edition. It's done very well. There have been innumerable supplements and scenarios for it, some of which have been reprinted in this box set, and I've had a, I've done unboxings of those in the past. I'm not going to do them again because it's kind of redundant. So what have I pulled out here so far? Well, there's the core rules, the Player's Survivor's Guide, and this is what the original rules were and have been, updated, tidied up, and so on for the new edition. What Mothership sci-fi horror role-playing game lacked: a book for the Warden, for the Game Master. And then we have the Shipbreaker's Toolkit, which is your book of spaceships, really nicely done. I did like that book. And then we get on to the next book, which is the Unconfirmed Contact Reports. So, what immediately springs to mind when someone says Unconfirmed Contact Reports is United States colonial marine standing there with his pulse rifle held in one arm, and basically a movement detector, motion sensor, scanning ahead, beep beep beep. This is that book, more or less. This is the book. This is going to be the book of encounters and monsters. So go, and then we have instantly here we've got a guide how to use this book, how to read a stat block on the inside. Up front, nice and clear and simple. Before you get into the meat of the book, you have a content warning and something lurking there, a bit more obvious than it's been in the previous books. As you can see, with something lurking in the background, and here it's a bit more obvious. And then we jump straight into the content, the monsters, and here we've got a significant shift in the style and look, because this is where we have really what's the first use of colour in these books. All these, all these have been in straight black and white. Here we have some colour, and it's essentially it's the bestiary going through A to Z, including some quite strange entries like the body politic and the brown stream, which is rumors of film construction across the network is logged and filled by the devoted, like a meme that just infects your communication systems. The future version of YouTube or whatever you want to call it. And then essentially we've got conspiratorial executive assistants here in sea levels, actual demons, and then Dorians are sort of like, they're going to be a bit like Dorian Gray taking on the sins of others, I suppose. And then we have like a stalker in the engineer who goes from one ship to the next, killing the occupants because he has access to engineering, and throw a few switches, turn a few things off, and people are going to die. Interestingly, family meal number 5. And then essentially we've got a whole spaceship as a deadly encounter, Freighter 54. Ghouls, space ghouls, and then a surprisingly naked granny, which is not an image you want to think about. Because one of the things about Mothership as the core rules in that Ashcan edition, essentially, is that it had no monsters. You created them yourself. But here we actually have, in this book, your bestiary, your monster book, things to throw at your players, things to inspire scenarios. We've got little gods and Mother, who is already creepy enough in the background. If you go back to the computer of the Nostromo in Alien, and because this is science fiction, we even have a monolith. Well, this is a very different one, I'm sure. And again, we have a neural-centric transmission. And this is interesting thing I like about the Mothership setting, and this is sort of like the blue-collar science fiction futurist. It's sort of like, you know, monsters can be technical. You know, so they can be a transmission. They can be a video recording. And then, yeah, pure love. You know, you can imagine just how cloying and demanding that might be. And then we have sort of like root language. And it's almost like a meme that comes in and, you know, and rewrites your code. Basically the basis of all the language you speak and does things. High Gold and the Sea of Silence. And again, another sort of eerie presence to have on your monitors, Sally in the Screen. And something definitely for your planet-based one is sort of like is your spore clouds. And here you sort of like, you know, basically you have almost like a xenomorph nest there, but it's full of, you know, arisen skeletons infected by spores. We have the strange thing that is the stain. Star shades suggest something almost cosmic. Stickmen, echoes of the Mothman, and of course you have some kind of a classic creature, the succubus. And then something you don't want to swallow, echoes the face hugger of Alien, throat leeches, and then you have some kind of underclass, the unperson. And others, the vitalizing field, and the white vine. And then last of all, we have the most dangerous threat of all, you. Or what you could be. You know, obviously some kind of doppelganger there. And lastly, zombies, because hey, what would a horror game be without zombies? And these, of course, are going to be space zombies. And then at last we have an index which simply lists page numbers and all their stats. That's very useful. And then on the back, 5 quick horrors. So this is finally an addition to the core rules for Mothership that sort of kind of wanted and needed. You know, just, well, it didn't necessarily need, because other people could invent the content, and they have because of all the scenarios that have been written. But an official set of monsters that would inspire your warden, your game master to create her own content. You know, rather than developing a monster of her own, say taking something like a ghoul and developing a scenario around that involving you know, an encounter that your player characters in their spaceship have whilst playing Mothership. So yeah, but that's really essentially, if you think about it, what you've got in these books, because really this brings together you know, a quartet of core rules for Mothership. So, you know, you have the book for the player, you have the book for the warden, and you have the book for spaceships, reference to spaceships, and you have the book of monsters. And that's all you need to play. Now, these 4 books, these are sort of kind of complete what it's been waiting for, and it feels like a rounded whole thing. Of course, there's lots of extras that you can go and get, scenarios and setting supplements and that sort of thing. Desert Moon of Karth, for example, is a fantastic setting supplement. Turns it into sort of like a hex crawl, kind of desert crawl thing, on a dune-like planet, which mixes in Firefly and sort of Warhammer 40k as well a bit, and if you want to do your space western. But anyway, that is Mothership Unconfirmed Contact Reports. Really nice looking book, nice source book for Mothership, the sci-fi role-playing game. Well, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time. I should be holding that one up. Please take the time to post those. I do appreciate that. And lastly, if you want to be able to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me with, well, let's start off with a box containing, which I will unbox, and then to get another box, which I'll then unbox to get a supplement, in this case, or role-playing game, or board game and so on, but in this case a supplement for Mothership, the sci-fi high role-playing game, which I will then unbox and actually chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.